This Catalan grammar video is about the adverbial pronoun un. This pronoun exists in other Romance languages such as Italian, French, Aragonese, Occitan, Neapolitan, such as in me ne vado in Italian, je m'en vais in French. These will mean I'm leaving. It doesn't exist in other Romance languages such as Spanish, Romanian, Portuguese, Galician, Asturian. In Catalan, you would say me'n vaig. Even though all of these mean the same thing, un is written differently depending on where it is in the word and if there's a vowel before or after it. Let's go over them. You say un before a consonant, such as in unbold, you want some. You write hyphen n after a consonant or a diphthong, such as in bulerna, to want some, parleuna, speak about it. This happens when the verb is in the infinitive and in the second person plural imperative. So speak about it, parleuna, it's when you're talking to more than one person. Apostrophe n after a vowel, such as in me'n vaig, and n apostrophe before a vowel, such as in n'hi ha dos, there are two of them. Un is placed after in the infinitive, such as in anar-se'n. It's placed between pronouns and conjugated verbs, such as in ans n'anem, we're leaving, except in the imperative where it goes at the very end, anem-nous-en. It's placed before n'hi ha molts, there are a lot, and placed before conjugated verbs, an tinc, n'he comprat. What use does this pronoun have and why is it important? Let's look at some examples in English. It's a difficult situation, but we should try to solve. This is incorrect. You have to use the pronoun it. It's a difficult situation, but we should try to solve it. This cake is delicious. Would you like? You would have to use the word some. Would you like some? Rebecca's a really good athlete. Isn't? Is. You have to write the pronoun she. Isn't she? She is. Just as these words in red are necessary in English, un is necessary in Catalan. Sometimes in English you don't need to have this extra information, but in Catalan you do. So for this example, what did you buy at the bookstore? Some books. How many did you buy? 2. You could also write, how many of them did you buy? 2 of them. This of them is necessary in Catalan by using un. Un has 5 usages. It replaces the following: a part of a whole amount, partitive, a location where something comes from, complement introduced by de, a complement of a factitive verb, an attributive adjective. I'll go over these one by one. Don't confuse it with the articles un and an apostrophe. Before names in Catalan, you must use the definite article el or la. Before a vowel, el apostrophe is used. In addition to el and la, there are special articles used only for names which are un and na. Before a vowel, an apostrophe is used. So if you see these, they are just special variants of the definite article that goes before a name and not the pronoun un. En Jordi, Nuriol, Nana. Think of it like the George, the Mary, etc. First use, partitive. When you use un here, it replaces a noun when you mention part of it in a sentence. For example, el meu amic ha fet entrepans. En vols un? My friend made sandwiches. Do you want one? Un means do you want one of them. En vols? Do you want some? The examples in green are different. Notice the lack of an article in the first examples. If there isn't an article, you aren't establishing a set number. So in the green examples, you are establishing a number, whether it be definite or indefinite, with the dog, a dog. That's why you use el and not un. When using un, that must be used before the noun, word, when used in the same sentence. For example, d'aigua, mai no en sobra, fes-ne un bonus. Water, there can never be too much of it. Make good use of it. De gana, no en tinc gaire. Hunger, I haven't got too much of it. Or, hungry, I'm not too hungry. Second use, replacing a place. Used to replace a location, someone or something is coming from. For example, ella entrava a la botiga quan ell en sortia. She was entering the store when he was leaving from there. The un means from there, and you have to mention it. From where? La botiga. And why? Because you mentioned la botiga, so that's why you need un. If you were to say, ella entrava a la botiga quan ell sortia de la botiga, this is okay, but it would just be unnecessary because you have un to use in its stead. Another example, el gat ha entrat a la caixa i n'ha sortit corrents perquè s'ha espantat. The cat went inside the box and ran out because he was startled. The un here means from there, from the box. Remember that if you are coming from use an. If you are going to, use i. For example, vinc de la festa, el meu germà també en ve. I'm coming from the party. My brother is also coming back from there. But, vaig a la festa, el meu germà també hi va. I'm going to the party. My brother is also going there. Third use, replacing a complement introduced by the. Un is used to replace an idea or clause introduced by the, usually when the preposition of a verb is the. What does this mean? Some verbs have a preposition that follow it, such as penedir-se de, to regret, parlar de, to talk about, recordar-se de, to remember. So for these verbs you have to use the. Em penedeixo de no haver-hi anat. I regret not having gone there. Parlo de la situació actual. I'm talking about the current situation. Em recordo del que ella havia dit. I remember what she had said. Me'n penedeixo. I regret it. En parlo. I talk about it. Me'n recordo. I remember it. So basically everything that comes after the can be reduced to un. So when you want to say it, you would use un, such as in me'n penedeixo. Here's another example. Li he cridat al meu germà i ara me'n penedeixo. Now in this sentence you don't see the de, but the de is hidden because it means d'haver-ho fet. D'haver cridat al meu germà. Having screamed at my brother. Me'n penedeixo molt. I screamed at my brother and now I regret it. I regret having done so. I regret it a lot. Sé que és difícil parlar de l'accident, però hem de parlar-ne. I know it's difficult to talk about the accident, but we have to talk about it. No em recordo pas del que va dir. Tu te'n recordes? I can't remember what he said. Do you remember? So here the un is replacing del que va dir, what he said. Complement of a factitive verb. This one could be a little bit tricky, but as you start using the language more, you'll see how to use it. It basically replaces an object of a verb that suggests that the subject is making another subject perform an action. The simplest translation would be roughly to make someone or something one of an entity, group, whole of something. Let's look at some examples. A ell l'han fet un encarregat de la botiga. A mi no me'n faran mai. They made him a manager of the store. They will never make me one. Meaning, they will never make me one of them. They will never make me a part of the managers of the store. L'han fet culpable del que ha passat. A vosaltres no us en faran. They made or held him responsible for what happened. They won't hold you responsible. In other words, they won't make you a part of the group of people responsible for what happened. Fifth use. Takes the place of an attribute. In Catalan, this is called locució adjectival possessiva, which means possessive adjective phrase or word. In simple terms, it replaces the attribute, whether a trait or location, that defines the object. It's like you're replacing the possessive. An adjective is a word that describes something. It goes before the word it is describing sometimes. For example, a German student, a big house, a black cat. The red words are the adjectives. Possessive adjective, a word that attributes ownership. For example, my house, her cat, its arms. The words in red are the possessive adjectives. It's like saying the house of me, cat of her, the arms of it. You don't say these because in English we use the possessive adjectives. In some languages they still maintain this. You'll see that in Catalan the of or de is implied in this type of use. In Catalan you use de before adjectives when using un. This also works for nouns. Let's look at some examples to explain this better. Sí que n'és interessant aquesta pel·lícula. This film sure is interesting. You can see that the de is before the adjective, which is interessant, which means interesting. Ell tenia dos gossos blancs y quatre negres. He had 2 white dogs and 4 black ones. As you can see, the last one, it's de negres. It's de plus the adjective. No n'és de groc. The de comes before groc, which means yellow, the adjective. No n'estic de content. I'm not happy. The de comes before content, which means happy. So this goes even further because it can replace the location. For example, ella d'on és? Ella és d'Alemanya. El David també n'és. Where is she from? She's from Germany, de Alemanya. David is also German. David is also from there. Where? D'Alemanya. Here you could see that the ne replaces German or from Germany. Another example. He estat a la Xina. però no en parlo l'idioma. I've been to China, but I don't speak the language. The un here replaces the language of there, the Chinese language, or the language, the Xina, of China, which even in English basically means I don't speak Chinese when you say I don't speak the language. Es parla molts idiomes a França, però el francès n'és l'oficial. El francès és l'idioma oficial de França. Many languages are spoken in France, but French is its official language. French is the official language of France. Here you could see the ne is replacing of France. Here you could see that it's the possessive because you're saying of France. So think of un like adjective replacements. I've been to China, but don't speak the Chinese language. David is also a German person. Un refers to the attribute of something, and not only of its location, but of its essence. It is common when describing a profession or what they do. Such as in the example, ell ha escrit la lletra de la cançó, i també n'és el cantant. He wrote the lyrics of the song, and he is also the singer. So he is also the song singer, or the singer of the song. What he does, or his job in the song, is of being a singer. The attribute is being a singer. That's what the person does. His part in the song is its singer. Examples with professions. Non és de cantant. She, he is not a singer. Ella és artista o non és? Is she an artist or isn't she? You can also opt for saying ella es artista o no es. The profession of these people is singer and artist. Menges gelat de maduixa? No, en menjo de chocolate. Are you eating strawberry ice cream? No, I'm eating chocolate ice cream. The ice cream's attribute is chocolate. The attribute of the ice cream is chocolate. Pleonasms are redundant extra words to give emphasis. Sometimes they're unnecessary. If un is used in the same sentence as the noun it refers to, it is being used to add emphasis, such as T'he dit que no en tinc de cigarretes. I told you that I haven't got any cigarettes. You only mention once something is introduced. So to introduce the word un is replacing again is unnecessary, but it emphasizes a feeling, an emotion. So in this example, que tens cigaretes? No en tinc. Segur? Ja t'he dit que no en tinc de cigaretes. You're adding an emphasis or a feeling that you're frustrated that someone is asking you many times for the same thing when you told them that you haven't got it. Some expressions. Ja en tinc prou. I've had enough of it. Bestan, from the verb anar-se'n, scram, beat it. It literally means get out of here, leave from here. Un means from here, so anar-se'n means to leave from here. Mercès for watching the video. Please ask any questions below. Subscriu-te al canal. Adeu.